Dear students, in this session, let us discuss about lowering of vapor pressure by a non-volatile solute. Lowering of vapor pressure of a solution by a non-volatile solute. And this is a colligative property. Colligative property is the one which depends on the number of moles of a solute dissolved in a solution and not dependent on the nature of the solute. Okay, vapor pressure lowering when a non-volatile solute is added to a solvent, the vapor pressure of the solvent is reduced. That means the vapor pressure of the solution is always lower than the vapor pressure of the solvent. Okay, let me give you a simple example. So when a solution will boil or when a liquid will boil, when the vapor pressure of the liquid is equal to the atmospheric pressure, then the liquid will boil. Okay, so you take up a pure water and then boil it. Okay, so it will boil at 100 degree centigrade. So with the pure water, when the water is boiling, if you add a solute, say for example a few grams of common salt, sodium chloride, then the vapor pressure of the solution gets reduced, and hence what happens, the water subsides to boil for a few seconds, and then if you keep supplying the temperature heat, then it boils after a few seconds. So when a non-volatile solute is added to a solvent, then the vapor pressure is reduced. As a result of reduction in the vapor pressure, the boiling point gets elevated. Okay, so these two properties are in turn closely related to one another. Okay, so we have already studied elevation of boiling point as a colligative property. Okay, now we are going to see the lowering of vapor pressure as a colligative property. Okay, so if I am going to take here a solution which is containing N2 moles of solute dissolved in N1 moles of solvent. The number of moles of solvent N1 moles of solvent and N2 moles of solute. Okay, so together this forms a solution. Okay, solvent and the solute together forms a solution. Okay, so if I calculate the mole fraction of the solvent and the solute separately, mole fraction of the solvent now x1 is equal to n1 by n1 plus n2. Okay, n1 is the number of moles of solvent divided by n1 plus n2, the number of moles of solvent plus solute. Okay, so that is total mole fraction of the solution is the n1 plus n2. So mole fraction of solvent is nothing but mole fraction of solvent, number of moles of solvent divided by total number of moles of solution. Okay, now mole fraction of solute, that is x2, is equal to n2 by n1 plus n2. x2 is the mole fraction of solute, which is equal to number of moles of solute divided by the total number of moles, that is number of moles of solvent plus number of moles of solute. Okay, so let us keep this x1 and x2 as such. Now with the addition of a non-volatile solute to a pure solvent, the vapor pressure is reduced. Okay, so the vapor pressure of a dilute very dilute solution which contains a few grams or a little amount of non-volatile solute. Okay, so vapor pressure of a solution, okay, which is equal to x1 into P0. This is equal to x1 into P0. P is the vapor pressure of a solution. P0 is the vapor pressure of the pure solvent. Okay. X1 is the number of mole fraction of the solvent. Okay. So in this case, let us expand this equation. Okay. So P1, okay, is the vapor pressure of the solvent. Okay. So let us now take this. We already know the total number of mole fraction of solvent is x1 and x2. In a solution, x1 plus x2 is equal to 1. Okay. So therefore, now x1 is equal to 1 minus x2. Okay. So let us substitute here. P1 is equal to 1 minus x2 into P0. So now P1 by P0 is equal to 1 minus x2. Okay. So let me write this in another way. x2 is equal to 1 minus P1 by P0. So this can be written P0 minus P1 divided by P0. So this is x2. Okay, P0 minus P1 by P0 is nothing but relative lowering of vapor pressure. Okay, P0 is the vapor pressure of a pure solvent. P1 is the vapor pressure of a pure solution. Okay, then P0 minus P1 is the lowering of vapor pressure divided by P0. P0 minus P1 by P0 is the relative lowering of vapor pressure. Okay, which is directly proportional to or which is equal to x2. So this shows that the relative lowering of vapor pressure is equal to x2, the number of moles of solute. Okay, the number of moles of solute. So this proves that, this equation proves that lowering of vapor pressure by a non-volatile solute is a colligative property. Okay. So let me explain you again. So a solution containing n moles of solvent and n2 moles of solute. Okay. Mole fraction of solvent is x1 is equal to n1 by n1 plus n2. Mole fraction of solute x2 is equal to n2 by n1 plus n2. Okay. Now what is the vapor pressure of the solution P1, which is prepared by adding a non-volatile solute, little amount of non-volatile solute, a dilute solution of non-volatile solute. Okay, so whose vapor pressure P1 is equal to mole fraction of the solvent and P0 is the vapor pressure of the pure solvent. Okay, now x1 is taken from here. So upon substituting, I get 1 minus x2 P0. So from this I calculate x2, and x2 is nothing but P0 minus P1 by P0. This is nothing but relative lowering of vapor pressure, which is equal to x2, the number of moles of pure solute, non-volatile solute. So from this we prove that vapor pressure lowering is a colligative property. Okay, vapor pressure is lowered upon addition of a non-volatile solute. Okay, so how to calculate the molecular weight of a non-volatile solute which is added into a solution. Okay, so we know that x2 is equal to P1 minus P0 divided by P0. Okay, so relative lowering of vapor pressure is directly proportional to number of moles of solute. Okay, So now let us take this, what is x2? x2 is equal to n2 by n1 plus n2. x2 is the mole fraction of solute, okay, which is equal to number of moles of solute divided by total number of moles of solvent plus solute. Okay, so if the solution is very dilute, if the solution is very dilute, then n2 can be n2 is negligible. N2 becomes a negligible. So x2 becomes equal to n2 by n1. x2 is equal to n2 by n1. Okay. And what is n2? n2 is the number of moles of solute. This is nothing but W2 by m2. Okay. Weight by molecular weight. Weight of the solute divided by molecular weight of solute. What is n1? Number of moles of solvent is equal to weight of the solvent divided by molecular weight of solvent. Okay. So this can be written W2 m1 divided by W1 and m2. So x2 is equal to W2 m1 divided by W1 m2. Okay. So therefore x2 is nothing but P10 minus P0 all divided by P0 is equal to W2 m1 all divided by W1 m1. So from this, okay, this is the equation from which from the relative lowering of vapor pressure, okay, you can calculate the molecular weight. Okay, molecular weight. So m2 is the molecular weight of the solute. m2 is the molecular weight of the solute. How to calculate m2? m2 is equal to P1 minus P0 by P0 into, let us say 1 by m2 is equal to W1 divided by W2 m1. Okay. So now m2 is equal to P0 W2 m1 whole divided by P1 minus P0 into W1. So if you know the vapor pressure of a pure solvent P0 and the vapor pressure of a solution, then weight of the solvent and molecular weight of the solvent and the weight of the non-volatile solute, then you can very easily calculate the molecular weight of a non-volatile solute. Okay, I hope you can understand this equation. So we are now going to determine the lowering of vapor pressure by the addition of a non-volatile solute. Okay, so we have a static method and dynamic method for determining the lowering of vapor pressure. Okay, so what is shown in the picture is the dynamic method for measuring the lowering of vapor pressure. Okay, so this method was proposed by Ostwald and Walker. So Ostwald and Walker's dynamic method for determining the lowering of vapor pressure. So experimentation setup for this method is quite very simple. Okay, so here we have bottles containing 3 bottles which contains the solution. These first three bottles which contains the solution for which the lowering of vapor pressure is to be measured. Okay, and the next 3 bottles which contains pure solvent. Okay, and using this solution is prepared. Okay, so the pure solvent is taken in the next 3 bottles. Okay, and all the 6 bottles are connected. Okay, so the 6 bottles are previously weighed before starting up the experiment. Okay, the pre-weighed solvent and solution bottle is connected continuously, and then the pre-weighed calcium chloride containing U tubes are taken. So this U tube is filled with a anhydrous calcium chloride salt. Okay, so that it can absorb the moisture. Okay, it can absorb the vapor. Okay, so it is actually, since we take water as a solvent, calcium chloride is a reagent which is used for absorbing the moist air, okay, or the water vapors. Okay, so these three U tubes are connected with the solvent, and finally the dry air exhales out. So dry air is it is allowed to pass through the tubes, solution and solvent tube and calcium chloride tube. So before we start the experiment, so we must pre-weigh the solvent bottles and the solution bottle and then the calcium chloride bottles. Okay, and now let us pass the dry air through the solution compartment. Thus, when the dry air passes through the solution, it absorbs the vapors. It absorbs the vapors which is released by the solution. Okay, that is nothing but the vapor pressure. Okay, of the solution. So the loss in mass of or the gain in the loss in mass of solution, loss in the mass of the solution is equal to P1, okay, or P. Okay, so when the dry air passes through this, the dry air takes up the vapor. Okay, and passes through the next set of bottles which contain the solvent. Okay, and the dry air which exhales from the solution bottle further absorbs some more vapors. Okay, which is nothing but the difference in the vapor pressure of the solvent and the solution. Okay, so now the loss in mass of the solvent tubes solvent bottles is equal to P1 minus P0. P0 is the vapor pressure of the pure solvent. P1 is the vapor pressure of the solution. Okay, since already some vapors have been taken out, the dry air takes up the remaining vapors from the solvent. Okay, and then it passes through the calcium chloride tubes. Okay, so and when it passes through this, all the vapors are being absorbed by calcium chloride tubes. Okay, so the gaining mass of calcium chloride. Okay, how to calculate the gaining mass of the calcium chloride? So look at this. Gain in the, or we can say this, loss in mass of solution plus loss in mass of solvent is equal to P1 minus P0. Okay, so this gets cancelled. So minus of minus becomes P0. Okay, so total loss in mass of both the compartment. Total loss in mass of both the compartment is equal to P0. Okay, so loss in mass of the solvent is equal to P1 minus P0. So with this, you can write P0 divided by P1 minus P0. Okay, so this is equal to loss in mass of the loss in mass of solvent all divided by gain in mass of U tubes. Okay, so the loss in mass of the solution plus the loss in mass of the solvent, it is nothing but the gain in mass of the calcium chloride. Okay, so whatever loss that takes place here, okay, it is gained through the calcium chloride tubes. That is, the vapors taken up by the solution and the vapors taken up by the solvent passes through the calcium chloride, it is absorbed. So here in both this solvent and the solution tubes, there will be a loss of weight, and in calcium chloride U tube there will be a gain of weight. So the gain in weight of calcium chloride tube is nothing but these two is equal to loss in mass of solution plus loss in mass of solvent, which is P0. Okay, so that is the gain in mass of U tube. The loss in mass of solvent alone, these three bottles alone, is nothing but P1 minus P0. So this P1 minus P0 is the relative lowering of vapor pressure. Okay, so this relative lowering of vapor pressure we have already found out. This is equal to P1 minus P0 by P0. Okay, so from this we can prove that this is we can measure the relative lowering of vapor pressure, and also you can prove that it is a colligative property by relating with the X2, the number of moles of the solute. Okay, let me explain you this experiment once again. So first we are taking three set of bulbs or bottles which contain the pure solution, and then three bottles of solvent which contain the three bottles of pure solvent we are taking. Okay, and all the 6 bottles are connected in sequence. Then it is connected to U tubes which contains the reagent. Okay, I mean the one which absorbs the moisture of the solvent. Okay, so hence here we are taking water as a solvent, hence we are taking calcium chloride as a absorbing reagent. Okay, so all the 6 tubes plus the 3 U tubes are connected in sequence. Now we are allowing the dry air to pass through the solution compartment. So what the solution takes up, the dry air takes up the vapor from the solution compartment, so there will be a loss in the solution chambers. Then the dry air passes through the solvent, where it once again takes up some vapor, because the solvent vapor pressure will be greater. Okay, so the remaining vapor pressure is absorbed by the dry air and it passes through the U tube. Okay, then U tube absorb all the vapors, water vapors, and the U tube gains the weight. Okay, now we are relating loss in mass of the solution is equal to P1, loss in mass of the solvent is equal to P1 minus P0. Okay, so adding these two will be the gain in mass of the U tube, which is nothing but P0. So P1 minus P0 by P0 is a relative lowering of vapor pressure we have measured. Okay, so this method is a very simple and very understandable method for measuring the relative lowering of vapor pressure. So with this I am completing this session. If you have any questions and comments, you can post it in the comment box. Okay, so thank you very much.